And welcome to match 2 here at HADO Arena Coventry from the third round of the UK National League. Here we have the Boss on red versus Rockhoppers on blue, the opening one of their game for game 1 of 7 in this sequence. Nice opening volleys there from the Boss, keeping Rockhoppers nicely pinned back. A little bit forward movement from Boss. Both teams, though, definitely clearly favouring the back wall here. And first points on the board for Rockhoppers there. 1 point to 0, 2 points to 0 now. 20 seconds played. Good fire coming from both sides. No, some nice movement there we can see from the Rockhoppers team, shifting out the way of the incoming fire from the Boss. Boss just not managed to find their mark here yet. Coming up on the halfway mark, 3 point to nothing lead for Rockhoppers. It's a good commanding position to be in at this point in the game. First points now on the board for the Boss. Fight back starting possibly. Let's see how it goes from here. Obviously you need to have greater than a 3 point lead though to really have any safety in this, because there's always 3 points available on the other side of the pitch. 20 seconds, coming up on the 20-second mark now, still that 2 point lead there for Rockhoppers. Let's see what they can do here. Final 10 seconds just coming up on now. Initial shield's gone up there from Rockhoppers. Pulling it back now. Nice use of that shield there, just bond that little bit of breathing space. 5 seconds. Rockhoppers with another point on the board. 2 points on the board. This looks like a Rockhoppers game. And that is Rockhoppers taking game 1 in this series. So what's your thoughts?
Interesting. It's nice to get a 3 point lead.
Yeah.
It makes you comfortable. But the Boss kept their cool. Started chipping away, getting a few points, just didn't quite get enough points. But yeah, it's just nice.
Yeah, I mean, they pulled it back to a 3-all, which is good. But I think they got chipped away at enough that Rockhoppers were then able to get those final target markers down and pull away again.
Of course, yeah, very well done to Rockhoppers, just staying nice and calm, keeping on that back wall. Nice dodging there from the middle player, and getting the shield up there. A little bit of a distraction. But the Boss just keeping it cool, just chipping away, getting a couple of points, but didn't quite get the first game. So well done, Rockhoppers, taking the first game. It's
yeah, I mean it has played through nicely there. Yeah, I mean seeing it there. The Rockhoppers, that early lead, Boss slowly chipping it away. I mean down to basically about the 20-second mark really before the Boss started any sort of meaningful fight back.
Yeah, you notice, you look in your headset, you realise actually I've got 10 seconds to go. I'm 2 points down.
That shielding point there in the centre just seemed to give them just enough of a break in incoming fire to get their eye in. Pulled it back up, and then that final 5 seconds, Rockhoppers just powering ahead there to take the game. So really nice play, good work all round there. Yeah, nice game.
Very well done to the Rockhoppers.
So let's get ourselves into game 2. So this is the single scale game. So small shots both sides, generally fast and a lot of firepower. Everyone going for a 4-1-4-1 build there. So you can see a lot of very quick shots flicking across this pitch. Again, nice movement there from Rockhoppers, but early chip-aways there being landed by the Boss. Difference here on the scale 1 game is you can't score a one-shot KO, so you have to chip away marker by marker in order to take your opponents down. So first points there on the board for the Boss this time. Let's see if Rockhoppers going to be able to answer that. There's a lot of concentrated fire going to the centre point on Rockhoppers though. He's having to really work there to try and keep himself on his feet, and that's the second KO scored on the centre Rockhopper player. 40 seconds played now. Rockhoppers still need to get a point on the board here. Shields coming in from Boss. They don't do an awful lot in stop of fire here, but can be just enough to break up patterns for the opposition. But not in this case. Rockhoppers pulling it back nicely. 2 points apiece. Coming on to the final 20 seconds now. 3 points apiece. Nice reply, instantaneous reply there from the score from the Boss by the Rockhoppers. Rockhoppers shield going in, try and break it up, but unfortunately they clumped up tightly together, brought a lot of fire into one position there, and it cost them a point. If anything, they'd probably been better not doing that shield at all there. And that is game over. So it's 1 game apiece. 4 points to 3 now in that game in favour of the boss, and 1 point, 1 game apiece in terms of this sequence of play.
It's interesting. It's nice to see the boss stepping it up and taking the first couple of points, which is good. Obviously, the Rockhoppers fighting back just to kind of keep those equalisers. I think it was 2-2, then 3-3, all the way up to like 20 seconds into the game. So it was nice and tight.
Very evenly paced.
And,
and that's the whole thing of this, that normally, even if you can scale 2, you can get those one-shot KOs, or you can get multi-life marker hits.
Yeah.
And obviously, the scale 1 game, really, you have to take your opponent down life marker by life marker. It's 4 separate hits on a player to take them out.
Chipping away, yeah.
Yeah, and it's chip and chip and chip. So every clip onto one of those player life markers is beneficial.
100%. Another thing you'll notice as well is all these players, obviously the boss are just off screen there on the left-hand side, and the Rockhoppers there on the blue side. All players relatively staying on the back wall, and you'll notice that a lot with a lot of pro players and the top teams, all the lower ranked teams in the other tournaments. They sort of tend to run around a lot, come forward a lot, and it changes around quite a lot.
It does. I mean, it doesn't mean you won't. I mean, you'll see plays up towards the centre line and onto the front corners, but they're active plays rather than set playing positions.
Yes, 100%. It's you'll notice a big difference, but really well played by both teams, and just quite not enough time for the Rockhoppers to just get that last point.
Yeah, but no, good game.
One apiece.
One apiece there. So moving into game 3. Okay, so this is game 3. So 2v2. Sorry, getting ahead of myself there in sequence. So a mix there on abilities, general fast speed both sides though, and no points into shielding. Early clips there being scored on the Rockhoppers by the boss players. Boss also taking a few life marker clips as well. Centre shield point there, just giving enough cover to get that first point on the board for the boss. 20 seconds played, 1 point to 0 in favour of the boss. Fair amount of fire going both sides here. Given the charge rates, I'd expect to see a lot more shots coming from both teams at this time point. Even on charge rates too, we should be seeing more than this. So both giving up quite a lot of opportunities at this stage. Coming up on the halfway mark, 40 seconds played now. Still 1 point to nothing in favour of the boss. In the 2v2 game, you're far better off both focusing on a single opponent and then shifting to the opposing teammate. So that's now 2 points to nothing for the boss. And we've got a Rockhopper player down to a single life marker as well. It's not a strong position for them here. They've got to get some support, those points on the board very, very soon. 15 seconds remaining now. Rockhoppers really needing that first score. After all, there are 2 points available on the other side of the pitch. It's still doable, but it's 3 points now to boss. This is looks like it's moving out of reach for Rockhoppers. Good shield there. And those last dying seconds really stopped any last minute comeback there by the Rockhoppers. And that's a 3 point to nothing. So a real nice clean slate win there. With all 3 points being scored by the same player from the boss.
Very well done to that. That
really
one
nice,
player
really nice clean play there.
All the points.
Rockhoppers just not really seem to get any kind of focus in this one.
It's tricky, yeah. I suppose obviously all 3 of those sections get taken off. I think that's snipe, I believe, potentially. But,
yes.
Yes. So and then getting taken down to the boss taking the first point. And then a little bit of focus coming onto the other player.
Yeah, it's snipe and slender on Rockhoppers.
It's tricky. Then they're just getting a lot of focus, and he's just got a really tight dodging space. But with a 2v2, you've got a lot more space. You've got a lot more flexibility to move around. But they seem to both be keeping a really tight space, which potentially went towards hindering their game.
Yeah, I've got to say as well, I know they were still on charge rate 2s, but there just didn't seem to be very much firepower. It was quite intermittent from both teams here, like really noticeably so that it was they were both clearly moving, carrying charge, looking for the shots. And I think both sides could have potentially disrupted the other more by putting out a bit more firepower.
Oh, 100%. It's tricky.
I think there was more time being used up looking for the shots rather than actually landing the hits.
But well done, both teams,
Yep.
especially that one boss player. Well done.
Okay, moving to game 4 now. This is the shields game. Both teams must spend a minimum of 8 ranks on shields. Spend more if they want, but a minimum of 8 into the gameplay. So we're looking here for their shielding, counter shielding, defensive work, and also their technician play. So we've got 2 players both going on the 1144 builds from each side there. So plenty, quite a lot of firepower. We're going to look at a fair amount of shield usage going in. Shields at the moment, though, actually really quite intermittent at this stage. Not necessarily being used particularly well by either side. They're being. The problem with shields is that because there is a tendency to stand stationary behind them, they can actually pull shots onto the shielder. Or at least onto the player using the shield. 1 point to nothing in favour of the boss at this stage. Big heavy shield wall going in from the centre from the boss there. Layered up shields to really lock off any route fire for the Rockhoppers. Rockhopper shields have been very sort of sporadic and dropped around the game field. 2 points to 1 now in favour of the boss. 10 seconds remaining. 1 point in it though, so still anybody's game at this stage. We're moving to the final 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and that is another game for the boss. Well played there. Really nice focus shields on the boss. Let's see how it looks in review. So, what's your thoughts?
Better shield position from Rockhoppers.
From Rockhoppers, you think?
Potentially, yes. From both teams, but definitely. So the first shield was good, but then there's 1 or 2 shields like this shield, a little bit too far back.
Being back isn't necessarily a problem, but they're dropping them back and they're not really using or benefiting from them.
Yep.
Whereas the boss seemed to put a real big sort of solid centre block in place, and then used them to shield and fire from.
Yes. It's nice being able to see that boss player then just get up to that front line and he can just get that shield just past the front line. It's,
But you're getting quite a lot of these ones where they're things like a shield's going up and then there's just not really anything being done with it, and they're driving themselves over to the edge, but then they're not using that firing position. And the player who's behind those shields there, small, slow shots. They're not. It's not the assassin.
It's tricky there. You've got a blue shield rolls on that back wall. Could have been doing with being a bit further forward.
Yeah.
Although they have pulled a point back, which is really, really good.
Yeah, I mean they have, but I think
the boss are just too comfortable.
Yeah, I think the biggest factor in 2 teams here was there was just much better shield positioning, and from the boss there was still quite a lot that wasn't ideal in the way they dropped their shields and how they used them, but definitely clearly better shield positioning there from the boss players over the Rockhoppers.
Yeah, could have just looking at the charge rate there as well. They could have had a little bit more charge rate, potentially got a few more shots out, but it's all right. Well done.
Okay, here we go. Getting ready now for game 5. This is the 1v1 freestyle. So again, different shift tactics, ideas, and concepts from the 2v2s and the 3v3s. Okay, both players going for fast speed, slight variation there between charge rate and shot size. Let's see who's made the right choices. Nice early fire there coming in from Rockhoppers. Good response now coming out from the boss. These games tend to involve a lot of motion and movement. Obviously, it's just you've got a single player to focus on. You can both see and track those incoming shots. So those evasion skills are really getting put to the test here. And can you try and create traps and block and volley fire to really try and catch your opponent off guard? Both players landing hits. Rockhoppers with a fraction advantage here. One additional life marker in play at this stage. It's first points on the board for Rockhoppers. 1-0. 30 seconds played. Good shield there from Rockhoppers. Doesn't matter, it's a level 1. You can see the boss player shifting up immediately to try to counter-attack, and that shield that the Rockhopper player dropped in just stopped that offensive before he could get anywhere. So 1 point to nothing to the Rockhoppers. Single life marker remaining on the Rockhopper player though. 10 seconds remaining on the clock. So the one's going to go right down to the wire. 5 seconds. 1 point apiece. This looks like it's probably going to go to overtime. Yes, it is. So 10 seconds to get the breaths back. And shift into overtime. 2 life markers on boss player. Full set of 4 on Rockhoppers. So odds are in favour of the Rockhoppers player. But a one-shot takedown is still quite possible from the boss side. So good opening shield there from boss. Just buy themselves a little bit of time. Nice clip there. 3 life markers in play for the Rockhopper now. 2 life markers in play for Rockhopper. Getting chipped down here. 1 life marker left. And that is getting to the boss. 2 points to 1. Very, very well played. Good, solid control play there into those last few seconds and through the overtime game. Okay. Let's go and talk that one through.
The thing is now the boss have just won their 4th game in a row, so now they're comfortable. They've pretty much got that bonus point.
Yeah,
So
they've pretty much they have got
Yeah.
the bonus point. So yeah, they've won 4 out 7
so far.
so far. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one game, just one game to Rockhoppers at this stage.
At the moment, yes.
Yeah, so four games to 1 in sequence 7. So yeah, Boss have taken the match at this point, but now it's about clocking up those game points as they go. But,
Any extra points will help.
But
overall.
I mean, this was a nice even game. Early lead, well, not early lead, but obviously that leading point from Rockhoppers getting the first score, and then Boss really just keeping the cool,
100%.
chipping away.
You notice you notice as well when you get towards the end of the game, the boss player was just like, right, I need to get this point.
Yeah.
And you just run to the front line and it's just hope for the best sometimes and chipping away and just got that key point just to get you into the overtime.
But I mean, given that both of them only had the single shield, they both played their shields really, really well. Rockhopper dropping the shield straight after he got the point to stop the immediate aggressive counter-offensive that came off the boss player, and then the boss player dropping it in overtime, dropping their shield in overtime, just to give themselves that opening, that bit of space they needed. But yeah, I mean, getting that overtime point was obviously crucial, but really well worked there by the boss player. Very good movement across the front line, creating a really nice crossfire of shots. Try and catch that last marker. That shield position going up there.
Very well used.
Yeah, really well used. Just giving him that time to build charge, get that focus going, and then this real
Just chip away.
Yeah, it's real sort of methodical, just chip away. Good motion from the. I mean, it's good dodging motion from the Rockhoppers player, but it's just very, very well timed, very nice angled, shots there from the boss. So, let's move ourselves into Game 6. This is the HADO 20, so this is the reduced point round. Both teams are very limited on their stat points. So we're going to see some players with nothing, some players with full stats, some players with elements in between. Looks like 2 teams have gone for very, very similar builds here. Early shield there going up from Rockhoppers in the centre. Everyone's on single points for shields for this one. So it's just there to try and break up patterns of firepower. A lot of nice concentrated fire going from Boss onto the back left-hand corner as we're looking at it of Rockhoppers. A lot of fire both sides, nothing really finding its mark at this stage. Coming up to the halfway mark, still 0-0. Nice rapid shield takedowns going in. That's first points on the board for Boss, 1 point to nothing. 30 seconds remaining. Rockhoppers really need to get a win here to salvage some points out of this match. Try and keep their team score up for the rest of the tournament. 1 point apiece now, nicely done by Rockhoppers. 20 seconds to play. A lot of these volleys of slow shots going in. So their 1-1 players are building up charge and trying to kick off big volleys there. Also got some charge ready. 3 seconds remain now. 2 points on the board for Rockhoppers. Are they going to take this one? Yes, they are. And that's a second game in this sequence to Rockhoppers. 2 points to 1 versus the Boss. So let's have a bit of a review through this one. Let's see where we're at.
Not bad. I mean, fair play. It was the Boss sort of taking the first point, and obviously they've won a few games in a row. So you're thinking you're going to take another one, which is fair. But
they're
cool.
they're confident. They got the heads up. They're going for it. It's I mean, they're only using single point shields, but they're using them quite well. It's one of the odd ones. The games where they've had single point shields, they've actually done the shielding quite nicely. Timing's been good, position's been good. But the actual shield game itself, it went apart, and the shields were all over the place, which is a bit strange. But they're using to really nicely break up the flow of play. Things like that. Those first point on the board there from Boss, but Rockhoppers really keeping their cool.
Yeah.
And just constantly chipping away into those Boss players. So quite a lot of nicely focused team play there from Rockhoppers. You can see all the shots basically all focusing down into this bottom right corner as we're looking at it, onto the Boss player there, making it pretty much 3 versus 1. So even though you've got a mix of slower shots in there, they're still managing to land things well.
Just chipping away slowly, and well done. Very well done.
All right, so we've got one game left in the sequence. Here we go. Here we go then, folks. So this is game 7, back to 3v3 freestyle. It's currently 4 games to 2 in favour of the Boss, so they've won the match. But who's going to take the final game point in this sequence? Nice shielding point there from the Boss, just breaking up gameplay again, allowing them to get that first point on the board. Rockhoppers having to pile shots into the shield to get it out of their line of fire. Good evasion and movement coming in from the Rockhoppers players. Nice aggressive shield position there on the front line from the Boss, moving out from behind it long before it drops there, denying the Rockhoppers a shoot through point. Just only 1 point on the board though for the Boss. Another nicely placed shield. Good shield positioning, good lockouts in what they're doing. Nice crossfire points coming in. 3 points to nothing here. Rockhoppers really need to get a point on the board. There we go, they got it. 4-1. Still a good solid lead though for the Boss. Shield positions are dropping in really, really nicely. Nice spread throughout the match and good positioning on them. Heavy fire coming in from Rockhoppers in these last few seconds, but I think it's far too little too late, and another point there for the Boss. Ending up 5 points to 2 in this final game of the sequence. That is 5 games to 2 in the match in favour of the Boss. Right.
I mean, they've done a lot of training, and they've earned it well, and taking the last point as well. You need it for your overall points, for your overall standing, which is really good, and especially getting that first point. Still got a shield there, and it takes a lot in your mind as well when you've lost a few games and now you're losing this game. It's like, right, how do you keep your cool? How do you fight back and try and get a few key points? And fair play, they've got a couple of points.
Every game's counting towards your overall tournament score. So even though you've lost the match, you still want to try and get every point you can towards your tournament score. But again, it's this odd one. Boss shield work here is really, really good. Absolutely bang on. Really breaking up the lines of fire for the Rockhoppers. Nicely positioned, giving good aggressive play and what they want to do. I just can't understand why they can't do it in the Shields game in the same way. It's really, really strange.
One thing that's really good, genuine shout out to Percy in this game, using 5-2-2. I think it's Noob using the shields there, which takes a lot of your focus towards the shields. Then it just allows Percy to just slow down and just chip away, get a couple of kills, and well done.
Really, really good play from the Boss.
It works.
Great. I mean, it's not in no way a bad performance by Rockhoppers at all. But kudos to the Boss. Well deserved 5-2 split there, which also happens to be the score for the final game. Yeah. There you go. These things happen. Don't forget, folks, do the whole subscribe, like, follow, share, all those good things. and we'll see you for the next one.